Edgar Allan Poe would have been ecstatic knowing that he was the talk of the town this past weekend. Honey, these Chapter 2 speakeasy tickets sold out like hotcakes. And Solari Orleans, in my opinion, was the absolute best place to have an event like this in. It gave such an eerie yet an antique vibe. Here is my review on how things went and my overall thoughts. Stay tuned.
Tonight, we invite you to step into the haunting realm of one of literature's most enigmatic figures, Edgar Allan Poe.
I dislodged a piece of the prison floor and I dropped it down the hole. And for many moments I heard this piece of stone reverberate against the walls of the chasm. Down and down it went for many moments, and then it finally hit water and a huge splash echoed up.
There were 4 performances of some of Poe's most famous work, and in between the shows they gave you a little break, so a little 5 to 7 minute intermission. This is where they cleaned up drinks and also handed out the new drinks. But they had these things rolling. They wasted no time.
I was bound to him. I hastened to finish my work, placing and plastering the final brick. Though my heart grew damp from the night of the catacombs, I had sealed the crypt, thus sealing Fortunato's fate along with it. And over a century since, no man nor mortal has disturbed either. In pace requiescat.
I stepped out during the second intermission to get a nice look at the venue. The decorations were very minimal, and I was surprised at this because I really didn't feel encapsulated in Poe's world. Y'all, I was expecting something reminiscent of the Addams Family, but what I got was just a few images of Poe and a little here and there details that kind of brought in that dark gothic-y feel. Because the venue itself was so beautiful, it kind of compensated for the minimalist approach with the Poe decor. All right, back to the show and let's get the next drink rolling. And I must say, this is one of my most favorite drinks of the night.
I was a child and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love. I and my Annabel Lee.
This was another one of my favorite drinks of the night. It was like a milky espresso. It kind of reminded me of boba tea in some way. Kind of funny to say that, but it did. It was very tasty. And a lot of the drinks, they weren't too strong either. And I love the different flavor profiles.
Our final story together this evening, arguably Poe's most unsettling work, so much so that Netflix had to make a series about it. It either lands or it doesn't. Written in 1839, The Fall of the House of Usher. Poe's most unsettling, a story where his fragile mental state came to life. He writes about how the walls are filled with terrors and a house pulsates with the madness of its inhabitants. This is, friends, gothic horror at its most chilling. A story where the mansion walls are crumbling and every creak and whisper is something far more sinister.
It were as though I breathed in an air of sorrow. Usher arose from the sofa he'd been lying on at full length and greeted me with a vivacious warmth, which at the time I thought of as an overdone cordiality. His appearance was cadaverous. This was the shadow of a man I once knew. His silken hair, now far more web-like than I remember, now clung to his temples, and he spoke in a trembling voice, as though he feared to trust his own senses. The conditions of this house have long since molded the destinies of my family. There is a curse, an influence that no mortal can escape. Do you not feel it? Do you not feel the sense of decay which pervades the air which we breathe?
He shrieked, "Madman! Look now, she stands at the door!" And as if by spell, the door swung open, and there stood the bloodied and emaciated body of Madeline Usher.
She stood, reeling, swaying to and fro, trembling. Then with a low moaning growl, she fell heavily inward upon her brother, and in her final and violent death agonies bore him to the ground a corpse. Terrified for my immortal soul, I fled from the mansion, and as I crossed the causeway, I heard the sounds of grumbling and rumbling behind me. I turned to look as the blood-red moon shone through cracks and fissures now spreading through the walls, as I witnessed the remnants of the fall of the house of Usher.
Guys, what a show. These performances were amazing, and this was truly an unforgettable experience. Now let's get down to my overall ratings. First, the venue and decor, I would say a 4 out of 5. I like that the venue was very beautiful, but like I mentioned before, it was very, very minimal, and I expected a whole lot more. Also, it was a very small setting, which made it intimate, but also it can feel a little crowded at times. I was really shoulder to shoulder with my neighbors, but other than that, very nice space. Next are drinks, and I rate them a 4 out of 5. I like that they offered mocktails as well for those who don't drink alcohol. They explained what the drinks were before they handed them out, but I was expecting to have a menu. Some of the previous Edgar Allan Poe speakeasies had menus where they showed you exactly what was in the drink. So I would have liked a menu. With that being said, the drinks, however, were good overall. Next are the performances, which I give a 5 out of 5. These ladies really did their thing, and I appreciated it so much because not only did they perform, but they were also serving us the drinks. They also greeted us. When I tell you this was like a 4-woman show, they literally did it all. So make sure if you do go to this event, make sure that you tip your performers and everything because they truly deserve it. The overall cost was $65 per ticket with taxes around $75. So in my opinion, that was kind of steep, but you do get 4 drinks and the performance. You get to be connected to other Edgar Allan Poe fans. After seeing how much was put into these performances, I'll say the $75 was worth it. And lastly, the crowd. So I rate the crowd a 3 out of 5. Crowds will differ based on the time of day that you go and also what city or state that you're in. With this crowd, it was lots of middle-aged individuals. I felt like I was one of the youngest ones there, so me and my friend group, I would have preferred more of a mixed crowd, but with everything said and done, I will ultimately rate this Edgar Allan Poe experience a 9 out of 10. I would highly recommend it if this experience is available in a city near you. If you enjoyed this review, please give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. Comment down below if you've been to a speakeasy before, or if you enjoyed something that I showed you, or if you have questions. I'll be here to answer them. You guys have a wonderful day in the world, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!